We'll come to the third stage of respiration, that is cellular respiration. This cellular respiration is a set of metabolic reactions which takes place in the cells of organisms in order to convert chemical energy obtained from nutrients into energy stored in ATP. So simply, during cellular respiration, the nutrients which are absorbed into bloodstream, or the digestive end products which are absorbed into blood, react with oxygen in order to produce energy which is stored in ATP. ATP is an organic compound. So this cellular respiration is not a simple process, it is a set of metabolic reactions. So the word equation for cellular respiration is given here. Glucose, the major respiratory substrate, reacts with oxygen, releasing carbon dioxide and water as byproducts and giving energy as the main product. So what we expect from cellular respiration is energy. In addition to that, carbon dioxide and water are also released. So for you to remember, you can just think of the photosynthesis reaction. So this is the opposite of it. During photosynthesis, we make use of carbon dioxide. The green plants make use of carbon dioxide and water in the presence of light energy and chlorophyll. Then glucose becomes the main product there, releasing oxygen as a byproduct. That is only for your convenience of remembering. So during cellular respiration, glucose reacts with oxygen, releasing energy along with carbon dioxide and water. This is the balanced chemical equation for cellular respiration. C6H12O6 reacting with 6 oxygen molecules, 6O2, giving 6CO2, 6H2O in the gaseous state, and energy. Based on the requirement of oxygen for respiration, we can divide it into two types as aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. So this aerobic respiration is the respiration in which oxygen is required, or the respiration carried out by organisms in the presence of oxygen is known as aerobic respiration. So actually this is the equation for aerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration is the respiration which is carried out by organisms without oxygen. So in addition to certain bacteria in plant cells as well as in animal cells, this anaerobic respiration takes place. During the anaerobic respiration in plant cells, glucose is converted into ethyl alcohol, carbon dioxide and energy. This is known as alcoholic fermentation. So alcoholic fermentation is the anaerobic respiration that takes place in plant cells. So yeast carries out anaerobic respiration during fermentation, and you can see ethyl alcohol is produced in that process. This is an example for the alcohol fermentation, how alcohol is produced by using yeast. This is just an example. Then when anaerobic respiration takes place in animal cells, we call it as acetic acid fermentation. There glucose is converted into lactic acid and energy. So in our cells also, especially in the muscle cells, this lactic acid fermentation takes place. Sometimes you may have experienced a cramp or a muscle pain when you are engaged in a sport activity or when you are engaged in a running event. There you need a lot of energy. For the production of that energy, more oxygen should be supplied to the cells. When the oxygen is not that adequate, this lactic acid fermentation takes place in some of the muscle cells. As a result of it, lactic acid gets accumulated inside the muscles. Therefore, we will experience a cramp or a muscle pain. Then, the energy produced during this cellular respiration is stored in ATP. Here you are asked which type of respiration produces more energy. State the reason. So out of anaerobic and aerobic respiration, aerobic respiration produces more energy. The reason is during anaerobic respiration, glucose molecules are broken down incompletely. But during aerobic respiration, complete breakdown of glucose molecules take place. Therefore, aerobic respiration releases more energy than anaerobic respiration. Then you are asked what happens to the energy produced during respiration. A part of this energy is lost as heat and the rest of the amount is deposited in ATP, which is known as adenosine triphosphate. ATP is an organic compound. So here I have shown the structure of ATP. You don't need to remember this, just for your knowledge. So there you can see there is adenine, which is a nitrogenous base, and ribose, a pentose sugar group, and 3 phosphate groups. That is why it is known as adenosine triphosphate. So the functions of ATP are to store energy, storage of energy, release of energy on requirement, and acting as an energy carrier. Storage of energy, release of energy, and acting as an energy carrier when we need to transport this energy from one place to another. So the energy stored in ATP are used for different requirements: movement of the muscles, the active transportation of certain substances in the body, and for the chemical reactions that take place in our body. There are so many biochemical reactions happening, and for the synthesis of complex compounds from simple compounds, such as formation of proteins out of amino acids, and the regeneration of new cells as well as production of new cells, the cell division. And in other animals like fireflies, the illumination is done by the energy stored in ATP, and like the electric eel, the electricity is generated by using the energy stored in ATP. Then we have to discuss about the diseases associated with respiratory system. So far we have discussed about the respiratory process, external gaseous exchange. Then the gaseous exchange takes place in alveoli. Then finally the cellular respiration.